Hi guys, thank you all for joining me. If you are absolutely new here, my name is Vanita and I really appreciate you stopping by. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you for hanging out with me once again. So I'm going to go ahead and go over the materials that I'll be using for the tutorial, you all. I'm going to be using the Hobby Lobby I Love This yarn, and it's in the color Burnt Pumpkin. Now, I'll only be using one skein of yarn. This hat will not take the entire skein because this skein is 355 yards. It also recommends a 5.5, I'm sorry, yes, a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook, but I'm going to be using a 6.5, which is also a K10. Also, you'll need a darning needle and a pair of scissors or something to cut your yarn with. Whatever you decide to use. If you decide to use snips, that's fine as well. Now, this stitch marker is totally optional. So, some people need it and some don't. And also what's optional is this row counter. Okay, but it will help you to keep up with your rows, but you can also just write them down. And as far as a stitch marker, if you don't have that, you can use a contrasting piece of yarn or a bobby pin. All right, so I'm going to go over the stitches that I'll be using in this tutorial. I'll be doing doing the double crochet stitch, the single crochet stitch, and also slip stitches. Also, I'll be doing the front post double crochet stitch and the back post. Now, I have tutorials linked down below that will show you all how to do those if you're not familiar with those stitches, okay? So you can definitely refer to those. Also, what's linked down below is timestamps. So you don't have to watch the whole video all the way back over. You can definitely go to the timestamps where you stopped off at. All right. And I do recommend that you watch this entire tutorial before you decide to follow along, okay? So just, watch the whole thing and then you can go back and follow along. So that's pretty much everything, you guys. Let's go ahead and get started making the hat. The first thing you want to do is go ahead and make your slip knot. And then you're going to start creating a chain that will fit all the way around your head and connect. Now, I'm going to go ahead and make my chain. And then I'm going to show you all what I mean by it being able to fit around your head and connect. And also, you do want that chain to be, to have a somewhat loose fit around your head. So I'm going to go ahead and make my chain, and then I'm going to show you all exactly what I mean. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so I have finished making my chain to be the length that I think it needs to be to fit all the way around my head, and I'm going to show you all how I want it to fit. So you're going to just put it all the way around your head, and you want to make sure that those two ends do meet. So mine do meet. All right, and I'm going to make sure that it's not sitting too low. So you just want to make sure it's sitting right at the back of your head, not too low and not too high. Pretty much you want it to sit where you want your head to sit. All right, now, and if you notice, I do have slacking. I have some room right there, and I have some room, back here. All right. Now, if yours is, if you chain too many, then of course to take a couple of chains out, and then if it's not enough, just put a couple more in, and then go back and put it around your head again. The reason that you want it a little loose is because this pattern calls for a dense stitch, which will make your hat a little snug. Especially if you want it a little loose. Also, if you want to fold your hat up, fold it back on your head, then you'll have, room to do that. I like to make mine a little loose because I oftentimes wear extra hair, and so I don't want it to be really tight fitting on my head. So that's one of the reasons that I will make mine a little loose so that it can fit comfortably on my head. So, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and take you all back, and we'll continue making the hat. Now that you've gotten your chain to the length that you need it to be, the next thing you're going to do is to count your chains, all right? And make sure that they are an even number. Now for me, mine came out to be 71. So I am going to need to add one more chain. All right, so now I have 72. All right, so next, you want to connect your chain. You want to connect the ends. So all you do, the way I do it is I just go down the chain, making sure not to twist it. All right, just keeping it straight, and I just bring my finger down the chain until I get to the other end. That way I know that I didn't twist it. All right, so I'm going to connect the two ends using a slip stitch. All right, so I'm going to go to that very last chain, and I'm just going to slip stitch to close it together. All right, there we go. All right, so next, you're going to chain 2, 1, 2. All right, now you're going to go into that first chain space right there, and you're going to put a double crochet stitch. So you just yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, and then do your double crochet. All right, there we go. So now you're going to go all the way down your chain, and in each chain space you're going to put one double crochet stitch, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and go down mine, putting one double crochet stitch, and then once I'm done, I'll meet you all back here and I'll show you what we'll be doing next. All right, so I have made it back around. I've completed all of my double crochet stitches, and once you've made it all the way around, make sure you go in and count your stitches. My count was 72. My chain was 72, so I should have 72 double crochet stitches. So I went ahead and counted, and I do have that number. Now I am at that is the slip stitch that I used to close the chain, and then this is my chain 2. So in order to connect, I am going to slip stitch into the top of that chain 2. So that's the first one, and then that's the second one. So I'm going to slip stitch in there to close this row. All right. And then just slip stitch across, and that closes the row. Now the next thing you want to do is just lay your work out and make sure that you didn't get it twisted in any, during the process of making that first row. And once you see that it's not twisted, then the next thing you want to do is just chain 2 again and start row 2. Now for row 2, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put one double crochet stitch in each double crochet stitch all the way around, and this is the first one. It's right there by that chain 2. All right, so you're just going to put one double crochet in there, and then I'm just going to go all the way around. All right. Oops, it slipped out on me. And remember, you're going to go right underneath both of those V's. All right, and that's putting it in the top of that double crochet. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Once I finish this row, I should have 72. And just remember that this chain 2 that we make after every row to start the new row, this chain 2 does not count as a stitch. Okay, so you should have your number without that chain 2. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and finish putting my double crochet stitches in, and I'll meet you all right back here. All right, so I have made it to the end of this row, and I have one more double crochet stitch. Now this may look like one, but this is actually my slip stitch that I did to close the first row. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and do the double crochet into that stitch. All right, and then I'm going to slip stitch. This is the chain 2. So I'm going to slip stitch into the top of that row. I'm sorry, into the top of that chain 2. All right. All right, so that closed my row. All right. Now, and once again, you all, I can't stress enough how important it is to just check each row and make sure that you didn't miss any stitches, because that'll keep you from having to frog your work. All right, so just try to get in a habit of that. All right, so next we're going to chain 2 and we're going to start row 3. Now, for row 3, this is where we're going to start doing front post, back post. So for that first double crochet, we're going to do a front post double crochet stitch. And so you're just going to yarn over, insert your hook, and just go down to the behind that post, and then just come over and just come out the other end, yarn over, and just pull through. Now you have 3 loops on your hook, and you're just going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. All right, we're going to do that again. We're going to do 2. So we're going to yarn over, go around the back, and insert your hook, yarn over, pull through. Now you have 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2. All right, now you have 2 loops on your hook, and yarn over and pull through 2. All right, next we're going to do 2 back posts. So yarn over, and you're just going to go around to the behind that stitch. All right, so you're just going around the back. All right, and then you just go straight behind it, and then just yarn over, pull through, and just be careful. Now you have 3 loops on your hook, and you just yarn over, pull through 2, and pull through 2. And you're just going to do another back post. Now, if you need any further instructions on that, I'm going to link my tutorial on front post, back post in the description box down below. All right, so now you're going to, throughout this row, you're going to put 2 front posts, then 2 back posts. And you're going to alternate that. 2 front posts, 2 back posts, 2 front posts, and 2 back posts. And as you go around, you'll keep doing that. All right. When you get to your last 2 stitches, right before that, you'll have 2 front posts or 2 back posts, depending on your number. So after you do that set right there, the last 2 stitches at the end of this row, you're just going to alternate them. So for example, if this is 2 front posts, then this one is you're going to do one. You're going to do this stitch in a back post and that one in a front post. All right, so these won't be a set. Everything else is going to be a set. So if these are 2 front posts, with these last 2, this one will be a back post and that one will be a front post. So I'm going to go ahead and do mine, and then I'll show you all so you can know for sure if that was a little confusing. I'm going to do mine, and then I'll show you all exactly what I mean. So I'll be right back with you. All right, guys, so I have gotten back around to what I was telling you all. So right here I have my set of 2 front posts. Then I have 2 more stitches. And then that is my chain 2 space, okay? Where I connected. That's where I did the slip stitch to connect the row. All right, so now what I'll do is, so we have 2 front posts. So now I'm going to make 1 back post for that second to the last stitch here. That's the 1 back post. And then the last stitch is going to be a front post. So basically those last 2 stitches are not a set. They are 1 front post, 1 back post. Or in mine it's 1 back post, 1 front post. All right, so now that I've done that, now I am going to be, this right here is my closing space. So all I'm going to do is go right here and slip stitch to close this row. Just like I did in the previous row. Oops. All right, so I'll slip stitch to close the row. And then I'll chain 2. All right, and now the only thing I'm going to be doing for this next row is I'm going to be going right and following right along with the pattern that I've always created with that front post, back post. So I have a front post, I'll do a front post stitch. All right, and then do another one. So it's 2 front posts, 2 back posts. All right, and then this one I'm going to do a back post stitch. and then do another back post. So basically I'm just following right along with that pattern of front post and back post that I already have. All right, and then when I get to the end, you know, that's my chain 2. When I get to that end, right before the chain 2, as you can see, I have back post, front post, and I'm just going to follow along with exactly what I have there. So I'm going to go ahead and complete this row, and I will meet you all back at the end. All right, so I have made it back around to the end of this row number 4. So I'm going to go ahead and put a slip stitch to connect this row in my chain 2 space. So that's the 1, 2. So I'm going to put it in the top of this chain 2 space so I can close this row. All right. And that is what, if you're following along, that's what your work should be looking like so far. All right. Now, if you have hung in there with me this far, then I ask that you do go ahead and subscribe to my channel and click like. And I also ask that you hit the notification bell so that you can be notified whenever I upload another video. All right, so now for row number 5, you're going to chain 2, and then you're just going to follow the same pattern that we've been doing. All right, so you're just going to do the same thing that we just did for row number 4. Now, for my hat, I will be going from row number 5 to row number 25 because I know that's how tall I want my hat. But you may want a different number. But you'll just repeat. This is your repeat row, so you'll just repeat, and I'll be going from row number 5 to 25. I'm going to go ahead and finish up all my rows, and then I will meet you all back here to show you all what I will be doing next. All right, so I have completed row number 5 through 25. So I'm just going to slip stitch in the top of this chain 2 space to close the row. All right, and so I just slip stitched over. Now, this is what, you know, if you're following along with me, this is what your work should be looking like. This is the other side of it. All right, so to close your hat. Now, this would normally, you know, for most hats, that would be the back. But for ours, I am going to take this row where I did the slip stitching, where I've been closing the rows at, and I'm going to make this the side of my hat. All right, and so right here, that right there is going to be that corner, and then this side is going to be over here. So in order to close, we're going to go from this side to that side and put in single crochet stitches all the way across. All right, so remember we slip stitched and we didn't cut anything. We're just going to go right in and just start putting single crochets to put both sides together. So just holding it together and just do your single crochet stitches all the way across. And I'm just going from one side to the next. Single crochet. All right. So I'm going to continue all the way over and do my single crochet until I get to the very last stitch over there, the last 2 stitches on that side, and I'll be right back with you all. Okay, so I have made it to the end of the top of my hat, so I just have about 2 more stitches to do. So I'm going to go ahead and do those with you all. So there's that one, and then this is the last. All right, and just single crochet that. All right, so that is that. So all you got to do now, or all I would need to do now, is cut my yarn. And I'm just going to bring it through like that. And then all I will have to do now is just weave that in. Okay? All right, so I'm going to go ahead on and weave this in, guys. And then we're going to try it on. All right, this is what it looks like. And let me show you all the what it looks like with a contrasting color. All right, so the other hat, this is what it looks like. And that's why I like doing the single crochet stitch across, you know, across the top, because that's what it would look like if you use, you know, the different colors. All right, so all right, let's go and try this one on that we made together. All right, guys, let's try it on. And there you go. There is your cat hat. Yes, 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 yes. All right, I hope you all can see that fit pretty good. And that just shows you now, I would consider this, for me, I would consider this a large to extra large. All right, excuse me. Now, and also, let me show you the other one. Now, this one has more rows. So if I were this one, it will have more rows. It has more rows. But like I said, this one, it has, I think I crocheted to 30 rows for this one. But if I wanted to roll it up, this is that's what it would look like. And if anybody's wondering for this hat, the yarn I used is, I got this from Joann's, and it's Big Twist, and the color is Candy Bowl. All right, guys. So don't forget to click like and subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified whenever I upload another video. And you know, go down in the comments and tell me, you know, what you think, and you know, if you decide to make the hat or not. I hope you do. But anyway, guys, I will see you all for the next video. Bye.